Section 7. It was artistic curiosity and creative impulse that first drew Bove Lee to cut paper. Her father loves art and has a small collection of traditional Chinese paper cutting. Once she returned to her native Hong Kong to visit and immediately asked herself if she could create something so intricate and beautiful, but at the same time reinvent it to make it her own for the 21st century. Soon after that, she created her first cut paper piece. Modeled after Hokusai's Great Wave off Kanagawa, Lee created Tsunami Oblivious in 2009 as a response to natural disasters and incredible stories of survival taking place around the world. The work freezes the moment before the waves come crashing down and features a central figure, a little girl laughing mindlessly, adrift at the rough sea on a sofa chair. The girl seems unaware of the calamity surrounding her, or is her oblivion just a survival instinct? Lee focuses her studio practice on cut paper that relates to the concept of survival. She became a full-time artist in 2008 at the start of the world economic crisis. This inspired her to explore collective consciousness and self-community empowerment through creativity. All of her work is created on zhuan, rice paper, which reflects her Chinese heritage. Unlike traditional paper cutting, Lee incorporates technology into her process. She creates the template on her computer and uses that composite image to guide the cuts in the final work. All of the actual cutting is done by hand, a method that is very important to Lee.
Cal Lane's delicate industrial works contrast material and image. Lane resides in Putnam Valley, New York, and her interest in cut steel comes from her experience as a welder. Being a female working in a predominantly male profession, Lane experienced the frustration of gender oppression and stereotyping. Now, she transforms her blowtorch from blue-collar tool to art instrument. She says that turning large steel objects into lace was a bit of a joke for her. I'm a girl, so I should like lace and pretty things and not like to get dirty. So turning an old steel oil tank into lace felt like revenge somehow, she says. Lane used an acetylene torch to create her early pieces because it was the only tool available to her at the time. She later started using a plasma cutter.
Several years ago, while visiting Ostia Antica in Rome, Robert Brinker was struck by the black and white mosaic floors lining the baths of the ancient Etruscan site. He was a visiting artist at the American Academy in Rome, focusing his work on paper mosaics combining Italian magazines, tourist souvenir posters, street art, and other print media. Since his return to Denver, Brinker has always used cut paper collage as a part of his studio practice. Brinker tends to create his pieces by deconstructing, then rearranging the elements using different methods to form a new image or object. He starts with cutting, gluing, painting, layering, scanning, and printing. Then he tries to build a new piece, sometimes using multiple networks and ornamentation. The form can be very simple and contain multiple layers of fragmented imagery. Brinker's source material includes adult magazines, movie posters, graffiti, and cartoons. The cut paper dragons are made from previously printed images from his CoverGirl series. Brinker's pieces can be appreciated up close and from a distance as the fine details and the layered lines interact with the source material. Brazilian-born and New York-based artist Simone Lorenzo initially started cutting paper as a means to eradicate perceived mistakes or wrong decisions. She fell in love with the freedom of the process and the time it allowed her to explore line, details, and endless possibilities. Lorenzo's cut paper work captures the cyclical patterns in nature and its ever-changing beauty. Drawn to nature and all its impermanence, she finds paper's malleability and organic properties to be an ideal mirror to our own existence. Lorenzo likes to work quickly, which lends itself well to paper cutting. Once the colors are selected, she cuts intuitively. She carves and weaves through layers of paper with each cut informing the next, a process she describes as gestural drawing with a knife. Her preferred materials are sturdy, colorful papers, an X-Acto knife, markers, colored pencils, and thread.
Swiss artist Lucretia Beeler has been cutting paper for the last 30 years, and her works are often a study of opposites. Do you see the opposites she has created in Barefoot in the Garden? Beeler used small scissors and a single sheet of paper to create these amazing artworks. She cuts lines that are no thicker than a thread, allowing the smallest details to emerge. The final piece is glued onto white paper. Beeler glues at selected places so that the unglued parts remain separated from the matting board, creating depth and shadows.
Cut Up, Cut Out, on exhibit June 26th through August 23rd. Visit MaslinMuseum.org for more information.